Yuki was only 3 years old when he passed away. He was my teddy bear hamster. And I know you're thinking, why are you writing a eulogy on a hamster? Well, to you he might have been a hamster, but to me, he was family. I remember when he died, I cried for weeks. Even now, I still go back to when he was alive, and I like to think about all the good memories we have. I got Yuki when I was 19. I was working at a job I completely despised. I would get bullied by my coworkers, but I kept on pushing through because I knew if I quit, I wouldn't have enough money to take care of Yuki. Coming home to him made my day so much better because he would just be there waiting for me to come back. Coming home to him made me feel so much better. He had such a different personality compared to other hamsters. I remember the day I got him, he stood out to me. My sister kept on telling me, she's like, don't get him, he's not as cute as the other ones, because like the other ones were like so freaking cute. But Yuki stuck out to me. I remember he saw me and he walked right towards me in his little glass container, and he actually put his paw on the glass, and that won me over, so I bought him. I also have a cat in my house, and the cat wasn't the happiest when I brought home Yuki. This is where Yuki showed his daredevil personality. I remember I got him a hamster ball, and Yuki absolutely loved the hamster ball. He actually, so we put him in it, and he actually chased my cat around the house, which was hilarious to me. And my cat wanted revenge. Basically, he walked to my bedroom and actually tried to open up the hamster cage. He couldn't do it. So what Yuki did was he took his paws out of the cage a little bit, because it was one of those plastic cage with the wires. He stuck his paw out, grabbed my cat's tail, and actually bit him. And Kyo has never messed with him again, Kyo being my cat. Definitely one of the traits that stuck out to me the most was he was a daredevil. He wasn't afraid of anything. He also loved copying me. I remember one time I was cleaning my room and Yuki kept on looking at me, and he was probably wondering, what is she doing? Well, he ended up wanting to copy me, so he actually pushed all of his bedding to one side of the cage, much to my dismay. And every time he saw me cleaning, that's what he would do. Every time, without fail. He also ran on his wheel in a weird way. He also ran on his hamster wheel in a very unique way. He would never run inside of it. He would climb on top of it and run that way. I never knew why he did that, but it was fun to him. I could go on and on about the stories about him. I have one more for you guys. So, I love singing. I've been singing since I was a little girl. Well, every time I would sing a song in my room, which I do a lot, Yuki would look at me, probably wondering what I was doing, but Yuki would actually sing with me. Hear me out. I know it sounds weird. Yuki would actually, kind of squeak along to the rhythm, and I thought that was the cutest thing ever. He did that every time I turned on the song. He loved it so much, and when the song would stop, so would his squeaking, and he did it to the beat, so he was kind of singing too, along with me singing. Yuki was a very special hamster. A month before he passed, he grew very ill. He could barely eat, and he was barely moving. He wasn't the same as he was before, and I was in denial. Maybe he was just tired, and I knew he was 3 years old, and hamsters don't live very long, unfortunately. And I was too scared to admit it. He wouldn't let anyone else pick him up but me. If anyone else tried, he would simply bite them. We had this bond that was so unbreakable, if that makes sense. Whenever I would come home crying, he would perk up and just look at me as if he knew what I was saying, and he would just stay there listening to me. And yeah, I believed that he knew what I was saying. And then he would just lick my finger as if he was saying, it's gonna be okay. The day before he died, it was so hard for me. I remember he was walking so slow, and he looked so frail, and I so scared. And he clearly did not want to be held by anybody. I reached in his cage and I petted him. I remember he could barely open his eyes, but he still walked up towards me. He heard the sound of my voice and he walked up towards me, and he simply put his head on my hand, and then he ended up licking my finger as if he was saying, everything is gonna be okay. And then he fell asleep on my hand. He didn't die that night, but I knew it was coming. I just didn't want to admit it. The next day, he wouldn't wake up. That's when I knew. And I remember trying to wake him up so badly that day, and it wouldn't work. I cried for a month, and the first week that happened, I felt so numb. I remember doing Vlogtober that month. And if you guys don't know, Vlogtober is when you vlog every day in October. Well, Yuki passed away on the 5th of October 2015, and I remember I just stopped vlogging entirely without warning. And then I stopped YouTube for a while. I couldn't do it because every time I picked up a camera, I would start crying. It's not a lie when they say a pet is a family member. Yuki was a strong hamster with the heart of a teddy bear. I remember he only trusted me, and honestly, no other hamster can replace him. He was truly my best friend who left way too soon. And honestly, it's still so weird to me when I have a panic attack and I don't have him there waiting for me, waiting to listen to what I have to say. And I know everyone's views are different, but I truly believe he understood me. And honestly, I still miss him every day.